No monkey business here. Let's get right into this one, starting with the IMDb plot. When twin brothers Bill and Hal find their father's old monkey toy in the attic, a series of gruesome deaths start. The siblings decide to throw the toy away and move on with their lives, growing apart over the years. Alright, so we have a new film recently released. So we'll try to keep this spoiler free. I don't know there's a huge amount of twists and turns in it to kind of spoil, but we'll try to save something for you guys here and not give everything away. Um, this is a new movie based on a Stephen King story, and I know that some people are claiming it the best story or movie done off of a Stephen King, anything to do with him. Obviously, that's a matter of opinion. Something that was I found that was put out there. I don't know if that was just one person's opinion or whatever, but it's really for you guys to judge. There's obviously a lot of Stephen King books and stories to movies and so forth out there. So we'll leave that aside. I'm not going to go there and comment on that. But I think for those who just turned this on and were familiar with my reviews and everything, I think you're gonna know where this is gonna go and the pools of blood that's going to happen here. If not, then you just have to sit still and see the outcome here. But yeah, let's tie a little bit into it till we get to the real good stuff. But we start here in the story with the two brothers, kind of when they're younger. Kind of the story of two brothers that you kind of see, often in films where they're not going to get along really, really great here. One brother is kind of a little bit more dominating than the other one. I think, again, they're brothers, so, at the end of the day, they really love each other, at least they try. Especially the one that's kind of getting more picked on. And we kind of see it kind of unfold a little bit there as far as them, not liking each other, one taking advantage of the other. The other one is a little bit more submissive, obviously, to the one brother. And, that's all fine and good. And I should mention that at the beginning of the film, we actually see who I believe was their grandfather, maybe, try to get rid of this toy monkey. And, it's one of those monkeys, maybe you're familiar, maybe you're not, you've never seen it. It's basically, a monkey that's kind of just sitting there with a drum in front of it, and you wind him up and he starts beating the drum. Simple toy, as it is. But apparently when you wind this monkey up and he starts beating the drum, bad things happen. And the beginning of the film opens with the guy trying to get rid of the monkey and telling the guy that, hey, you just take this toy, get rid of it, but don't, mess with it too much and blah, blah, blah. And I guess, he ends up kind of going into it and saying, too much about it and so forth. And the guy's like, yeah, whatever, this toy's not going to do nothing. And I won't tell you what happens. I'll just say some really good stuff, fun stuff happens there. Anyway, then we kind of run into this introduction of the brothers that I mentioned there. And unfortunately, their father passes away. Or maybe that was the father. Maybe it wasn't the grandfather. It was probably the father. One way or the other. The boys end up finding, when their father passes away, the monkey, amongst his stuff. And of course, it's just there. You don't think of anything about it. One was gonna play with it, and the other one, might take it, whatever, blah blah. But it's there. And they don't really realize it at first, but eventually one of them starts, to play with the monkey, and turn it on, and bad stuff starts happening around them. People start dying, And, it's not immediate that they figure out that it's the monkey, but eventually one of the brothers does. And one of the brothers does something to piss off one, and he comes home and he knows what the monkey can do, and he's just like trying to tell the monkey, that's it, I want my brother dead. And he turns the thing, but unfortunately, what he wants to happen and what you want the monkey to do doesn't always happen. So just because you want it to kill somebody doesn't mean that that specific person is going to die. So unfortunately for them, someone else dies. That is important there. And, that's when they soon realize, really for sure that this monkey's no good, and, maybe they should get rid of it. And they do so. But, as we know, if they just simply get rid of the monkey and move on, this wouldn't be a very good horror movie at all. Maybe a good short story, but not a good movie. So eventually, many years later, when they're more grown up and so forth, the monkey ventures back into one of their lives and proceeds to start killing more and more people and whatever. And, the brothers at this point have kind of grown apart, and, we're going to kind of see, once people start dying again, what should have been finished a long time ago between the two brothers, is it going to be finished again? How's the monkey, continuing to kill people play into these two brothers and bringing them together one more time? And then there's a little bit more involvement with family and deaths and so forth, blah, blah. We'll leave that, to kind of you guys to kind of see. Now to the fun stuff. Now to the fun stuff here. I'm going to say, and I've seen, I have not read a full review from anybody, but just seeing some things on Twitter, and I'll agree with a couple of things. One is that, and I'm going to get into the stuff that I like. You guys know that's coming. But, as far as the story and that kind of thing, it's not the most amazing thing out there. The whole brother thing, and they're going against each other, when they're younger, then, later being, reunited because of the monkey, and then, things happen. It was okay. I think, the one brother they follow, he's is a little bit awkward at times and whatever, and who can blame him with all the craziness he's been around and so forth. So it is a little bit awkward. Not, the most amazing, like I said, there's no huge, big twist here. So as far as like kind of the story of what's happening here, not the most amazing thing, and, not a blockbuster story per se. But I think, that's not, necessarily what we're going for here. The movie's definitely not going to win an Oscar. And I think it clearly knows that it's not going to win anything for, a more, huge, complicated, amazing story here. And definitely, as we just saw with the Oscars, this kind of movie is not going to win. Not, typically win a dilly squat. So, what this movie truly is, and the great thing about it, are the deaths and the death scenes and the blood and guts and the craziness that's all made. I don't know if it's officially down somewhere, or maybe somebody counted it up. I know there's some websites and blogs and that kind of thing that count deaths and go through deaths. I'm certainly, people who do that or whatever are going to have a real fun time with this movie. Lots of deaths, lots of blood, lots of different kinds of deaths to be had. Some really quick, some maybe a tad bit slower. Just all kinds of craziness going on here as far as death scenes are concerned. And, that at the end of the day is the real point of the movie, and the, whether you're going to like it or dislike it or whatever. If you're into death scenes, into blood and guts and whatever, I'm going to say that you probably going to like this movie, or this movie's going to be more tailored for you. Again, if you're looking for, great writing and acting and, seriousness and a mega twist and all that kind of stuff. That's not here. It's just not where this is. It's not, again, an Oscar movie. Uh, for me, on the other hand, yeah, this is the Oscars for me. This is up there. This was just a fantastic time as far as the death scenes and whatever. And I'm not going to take credit for it. Again, I try to be honest if I see something, to kind of spark my opinion before I actually do it. I think I would have come up with it, if I had not have seen it, but I did see someone kind of say that this is kind of another version of Final Destination, which, thumbs up, we're getting another Final Destination soon. I'm looking forward to that. I love those movies because, of course, the death scenes. And, yeah, this is kind of a very similar thing. I'm not going to compare the two things, but obviously we know the monkey's in control here, and he's the one causing all the chaos here in this movie. Where Final Destination, it's a little bit more of a mystery of what's really happening. But really kind of the same kind of thing going on with the two movies. So, I saw that mentioned somewhere. Watching the movie, I definitely got that vibe, and I think I would have figured that out regardless of reading that. But I just, I'll be honest and say that, it wasn't my original thought, but definitely, is. I mean, it clearly is, even when you see that first death scene early in the movie, as the movie kind of kicks off, and then you see some of the other ones. I think some of them kind of fall more along the lines of maybe, the typical horror scene we maybe see in a regular kind of setting, and then there are some ones that really make you kind of think Final Destination. The ones that kind of are a little bit more played out, or kind of see multiple steps to happening. Not just somebody getting shot, not just somebody getting stabbed, or just run over by a car, but you see one or two events or small things kind of maneuver, and then the death happens. So you kind of have a mixture here in this movie of those kind of things. I don't want to give them all away, get too specific. If you haven't seen the movie and you like death scenes, I don't want to ruin any of them for you. Like I said, it opens with a really good one. There's one where they're at I guess, hibachi. They're eating in a Asian restaurant, and something really crazy happens there. Not kind of what I thought. I had a hint that felt like something was coming. I thought maybe something else would happen, but that happened, and then that was still fun stuff. A great quick one in the pool. That was fantastic. Really enjoyed that one. And that was kind of a quick Final Destination one. It's like one thing, and bam. Really enjoyed that one. There's a quick scene where they show multiple deaths in a row. Kind of like a montage of deaths, and that's a fun segment. I really enjoyed that. And then even and then when you really think that okay, we've kind of come towards the end of this movie. We've had it with deaths. No, the movie does not just have it with deaths. Like I said, the movie is about the death scenes. That's the main fun here of the movie, and the movie knows it. And the end of the movie is just going to be, we're going to leave you off with some fun. And there's a really fun scene with a bus, and I'll leave it with that. But that was terrific too. Just a nice explanation point to kind of end the movie with. So yeah, I had tons of fun. Watched all the blood and guts. Fantastic time with all of that. I think kind of like I said, once you get towards the end of the movie and the movie's kind of wrapping up. In my mind, it really didn't matter what had happened, and the story of the brothers, and whether you really were into that or not into that, or cared what happened, and the story of that. It was just all about the deaths, and like I said, it kind of ends with death, and that's just in your mind. So yeah, all that stuff at the end. It just at the when it ends, it doesn't really matter. Just fun stuff. I'm all for it. Um, when are we doing a part two? Can we do a part two? I mean, I don't know the way they hinted. What was happening at the end of that movie. I don't know. When, where they're going, or what is happening. Um, but can we get a part two? Can we get a prequel? Can we see someone else with the monkey that had the monkey maybe another time? I don't know. Can we put this monkey in different time periods and see what happens? Disney, I was having all kinds of fun with the deaths and the death scenes and all that. Fantastic fun from my point of view. I know that not everybody's into the death scenes. Everybody has their different types of horror that they like. So, this might not be for you. This might not be the style of horror for you. For me, definitely fantastic fun here. So, you know, th- that's where I'm at for this movie. I don't, I don't want to didn't want to go through every death scene and whatever and ruin it if you guys haven't seen it. Whatever, just kind of give you a hint at a few that I liked. Um, and really that's it for me for the movie. So with all of that, I'm giving it 4.5 pools of blood. Um, definitely, I would tell you already at the top, we're only, just into March here, so, we still got many months to go, but there's just no way this won't be in my top 10 unless we get like 9 or 10, 11 other movies that are all about death scenes and blood and guts and whatever, which I applaud and would be definitely for, but this is definitely going to be up there. Um, Again, and most of that 4.5 pools of blood out of 5, I should say, is because of the death scenes and the fun and how much I enjoy all of that and so forth. Again, not an Oscar movie, not the most amazing story and that kind of thing that you might catch with some of the things. Not the number one movie that I gave last year. Definitely it's much more about character and the story, and there's a crazy thing that happens in that movie. But that movie, it was more about the whole complete thing. This is just 4.5 pools of blood because of the blood and because of the guts and because of just the craziness of all these death scenes and stuff. Um, so yeah, so that's it for me. Um, and so with that, horrorgory.blogspot.com. I'm all worked up about the death scenes and everything. Is where you can find all my reviews, written and video. Certainly tons of video reviews for a while now, so you can like, subscribe, and do everything else that everybody wants to do here on YouTube. If not, no worries, it is okay. I thank you for your time regardless. Twitter, Facebook information down below as well, and reach out to me there, talk about this movie, other movies, your love or hate for death scenes. Definitely in the comment section as well. Once you guys kind of see this movie, if you want to put your favorite death scene down at the bottom, please feel free to do so. I'm really not sure which was my favorite. I liked many of them. But, we'll see. If you guys going to start up a conversation about that, I'd be happy to kind of maybe try to narrow it down. But so with that, I'll catch you in the next review, horror fans.